Hello guys, this is Ma'am Liz, your resource person when it comes to education matters. Guys, have you experienced taking a test only to find out that what you have learned from the classroom and what you have reviewed prior to the scheduled examination ay hindi naman naisama ng professor or ng teacher? Ibig sabihin, mukhang hindi yata naplano ng maganda yung test. But how can we avoid such disgusting scenario? We need to prepare a table of specifications or TOS. Before putting up a building, there is a blueprint serving as a plan before the construction. We teachers in test construction, we use also a blueprint and we call it TOS. TOS is your actual plan before the test construction. Kaya ang tawag dito ay test blueprint. And because it is your plan, it must be done before the test construction. Ito ay isang prerequisite. Saan ba natin ginagamit ang TOS? We commonly use TOS in the construction of traditional summative tests like midterm and final examinations, periodical tests, o kaya naman achievement tests. With TOS, we are able to align assessment with learning objectives. Meaning to say, if there is an alignment between the two, we are able to develop valid and reliable tests. Take note that validity and reliability are two characteristics of a good test. With TOS, we are able to map the amount of class time spent on each objective with the cognitive level at which each objective was taught. Take note that our basis for the cognitive level is the revised Bloom's taxonomy of learning. So with this, we teachers are able to identify the types of items that we have to include in test construction. I have here an example of my TOS. The title is Table of Specifications for a 50-item midterm examination in assessment in learning. Bakit ba 50 items ang aking ginawa? Actually guys, pwedeng less than 50 or more than 50 as long as it will cover all of the lessons that you have discussed in your class. So it is you, the teacher, who will determine the total number of test items. In the first column are the lessons which I discussed during the midterm period. I just made sure that all the lessons were included in the list. For the next column, it's the number of teaching hours. I taught lesson 1 for 3 hours. I taught lesson 2, lesson 3, and lesson 4 for 6 hours each, with a total of 21 teaching hours. The third column is percentage of teaching time. To determine the percentage of teaching time for lesson 1, I just divided its corresponding number of teaching hours, which is 3, by the total number of teaching hours, which is 21. And I got the answer, 14.29%. I also did the same for lesson 2, lesson 3, and lesson 4. I taught lesson 2 for 6 hours, 6 over 21. The percentage time is 28.57%. The same for lesson 3 and lesson 4, with a total of 100%. The fourth column is the number of items. To get the number of items for each lesson, all you have to do is just multiply 50, which is the total number of test items, by the percentage of teaching time. So 14.29% by 50, the number of items for lesson 1 is 8. If we do the same for lesson 2, lesson 3, and lesson 4, 28.57% multiplied by 50, the answer is 14. So we have a total of 50 items. If you will observe, the number of test items allotted is proportionate to the amount of time the lesson is taught. So mas maraming oras ang ginugol mo sa isang lesson, mas maraming number of items ang dapat ilaan dito. And now that you know the number of items allotted for each lesson, it's now time to distribute these items according to the learning objectives. In my example here, I have 3 learning objectives which I use in teaching my lessons. I use understanding, applying, and analyzing. Guys, please remember that the items are distributed in terms of the learning objectives set by the teacher, by you, as per Bloom's revised taxonomy of learning. So in this example, Since the number of items for lesson 1 is 8, I decided to divide it into 2 between understanding and analyzing. So 4 items under understanding and 4 items under analyzing. There are 14 items allotted for lesson 2, and I decided to have 4 items for understanding, 5 items for applying, and 5 items for analyzing. 14 items are also allotted for lesson 3, and I decided to have 4 items for understanding, 5 for applying, and another 5 for analyzing. For lesson 4, which has 14 items also, I decided that 3 shall be for understanding, 5 for applying, and 6 for analyzing. In total, there are 15 items allotted for understanding, 15 for applying, and 20 for analyzing. So what's next? You have to decide the type of test assessment that will fit to test the learning objectives. Is it true or false test, matching type, completion or fill in the blanks, multiple choice questions, or essay? So going back to my TOS, with 15 items under understanding, I may have 5 items fill in the blanks and 10 items matching type, plus 35 multiple choice questions that will cover 15 under applying and 20 under analyzing. Or I may decide that 50 will be all multiple choice questions. All right, guys, so if you want to know more about which type of test that will fit to the learning objectives, I suggest that you check my vlog on assessment tools and strategies. So I hope you learned something from me about how to prepare a TOS. Thank you and God bless. Bye.